Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. This is SCC and tonight we'll be looking at some trade plans for round 12. Just got back from a bit of a disaster of a night, and I thought I'd jump on and get on video, try and do some trades. It's been a bit of a long one. Had me a hire car, the key broke for it. So I did getting my car fixed, and the old mechanic, they offer you a car, and I was like, you beauty, use this one to get me to work. And ended up driving it tonight. Had to go to take the dog to some dog training, doing the good boyfriend things, as my partner was at work tonight. And we got there and got out the car, went to lock it because classic mechanic car, old car with a only uses key, no buttons. Went to lock the doors, so you have to lock both doors with the key. Only a 2-door, so not too much work there. But and she snapped off in there, so that was brilliant. It was only half the key, so obviously I don't know how it locked because it did lock, but I mustn't have had the key in there fully. And she broke in half, and I was like praying to God. I was like, let's just go in there and hopefully when we get back out, hopefully there's enough of a key there to get us started. If there wasn't, thought about giving a call to the RAA, but I was like, they're just gonna get me to lock it up and keep it there anyway. So I was like, bugger it, I'll see who's around, and try and get a lift home with my poor dog. He's sitting in the car looking at me like, what are you doing? And luckily my cousin lived nearby and was able to get a ride home. Luckily I only live 5 to 10 minutes away from the place, but sat there for an hour trying to contemplate what to do before I got onto that, and now we're here creating this video. So that's a bit about me, you get a bit of the life story here. It's about time a bit of that's been coming out, and that's one of the things, great Supercoach, great life stuff, really keeps us going. But anyway, that's enough of that. Let's get on to the actual good stuff. And tonight we're going to be thinking about what we're going to be doing at trades, because I've been looking at a few different plans and really can't figure it out. I've actually been stuck in a position which is really annoying me. So as you'll know, last week we went the late trade to Richards from Fraser, and I was thinking, you beauty, once the game was over. No, at first it was, oh my God, I've missed a 72 from Fraser. That would have been like enough to be worth it for a cover for Rankin. And then Richards played and got 100, and I was like, you beauty. Fraser could be on the, board to get this week. Bloody brilliant. And I got the highest score out of the two, and so I'm going to, save some money. I think like Fraser's 170k, Richards 212. And then we find out that Richards has got a foot injury. And it's keeping him out for probably 4 to 6 weeks, which is brilliant, because this is not the time for injuries. Unless it was his buy. And he's only got, 100k on, and I've been pretty aggressive with trading these guys out when it looks like there's no chance. With Clark, that's probably punishing me now. Sexton was one I went on, which, at the time didn't have a chance getting in, it didn't look like. And then, a few things go his way. The will, what really has bugged me? The willpower. Him being an idiot, saying what he said after, seeing bloody, who is it? The Port Adelaide player, I forget, Finlayson, getting dumb for the same thing. So he goes and does something, and that's pretty much what let Sexton in to the team, was the fact that Power was out. And now Sexton's got a really good role. Will he keep it? Don't know, but he's really cemented himself there, and it's really pissing me off, because there was a lot of teams that really had like no good rookie to play there, and I was getting so many points, and then bloody Sexton's back, which has really wrecked it, because I've had to, due to injuries myself, had to play around it a bit with rookies that aren't really scoring great, because if we had if Rankin wasn't injured last week, Darcy goes off the field, I wouldn't have been playing Darcy on field, because I thought it was going to be a rough matchup against Sydney. And we would have just probably looped him and then seen what Richards did. Instead, we couldn't do that. So, this is where we're losing points. luckily we got, most of the decisions right. Not that we had many with the rookies, but God, that's frustrating. And now we're in a weird position where we've probably only got 17 on field and kind of have to make a trade because I decided to hold Rankin, which I'm just going to bloody hold now. So let's see what the team looks like. Sorry for the costs and stuff. It's just pissing me off. All right. So let's get everyone on field. Let's just optimize. I think that's the best way to do it, isn't it? So let's go through and count. I mean, this should help us. So we've got one. Let's go the definites. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Reed hasn't been in the team, but if he is, that changes things. If he isn't, well, anyway, it's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Rogers was sub, so I don't really see much luck in him getting a game. Pretty sure Graham played a pretty good game in the VFL, so that's probably one that will punish us as well. Yeah, so that's great. So we're 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 McCall, 13, 14. We've got a 15th on the bench in Sweet, but he was training with the Bees, I've heard. So he might be on the chopping block because there may no longer be any point to holding him. So then it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So 17 players because Garcia is probably not playing either. So we've got 17 damn players. And, it's just a myriad of things, right? Because, Flynn is going out late with the illness, made us, trade Brown. And having Brown right now would be good. Although we'd lose Wilson and we definitely have a blue dot on the field. But yeah, we're really gonna have to trade, I think, unless it's really gonna come down to what happens at selection. Because if Rogers gets a game, or Reed gets a game, or Garcia possibly could get a game because St Kilda were not very good. Even though he wasn't even listed emergency last week, you never know, he could get a game. So that would one of them playing would give us 18, and then I'd probably sit on it. But in saying that, we don't have that at the moment. So what can we do? All right. So looking at break evens, the guys to trade would be Wilson, Darcy, and probably Closey. So that's like your 3. Now, the things that are wrong or bad about this, none of them are on their buy. If one of them are on their buy, it's really easy, but you might as well keep them to cover those games, right? Now, I'm hearing a lot of aggressive plays out there, and we're going to go through a few of those, but this is based on the break evens, what I should be trading. What would I get in? So, Butters, because he has that good buy, is something I'm looking at, and I don't mind. Then there would be, who would it be? What's his name? I want to get Myers. So I'm liking Myers. So this works, right? Myers. And then, what do we get after that? We'd actually need another playing player. This actually does not improve anything. We'd still be a play down. This would be what you could do in the case of, say, there being a Garcia or someone picked. I could do this because it would be straight in, but then I can't actually even do Dawson. Will Dawson would be, because even though Dawson had the bye, if I had 18, I wouldn't mind getting Dawson now and then having that as he's got his bye this week, so he'll play from whenever then. But the problem is, this would only leave me with 17 still, although I can make it work. So then, all right, we got to move away from that. So what else can we do? There's only really one thing we can do that can really improve the team without getting rid of players that aren't on the bye. And it's trading Jordan Sweet. Now, if we trade Jordan Sweet, because the thing is, right, Sweet would be great cover, but Mika and Gorn don't play to the last 2 rounds anyway. Sweet's not playing next week, and he possibly doesn't play this week. And then after that, round 14, 15, he might not even be the team because Soto was already back and he played like really low and he had really good hit outs. I think he had 27 hit outs. So it's a kind of hard spot where it's like, why not just trade Sweet? Because otherwise you're holding him. And yeah, this could backfire. You know, Meek could get an injury or something, but then I just trade Meek. Or Gorn could get injured, but then I'm not going to trade Gorn. So it's only really bad if Gorn gets injured. Now, the Gorn injury, if it was on the bye, you could trade. But, you know, this opens up another position that I can actually play through, and then we could possibly look at getting Jackson off his bye, and we can cover Meek and Gorn over that period. So I'm actually pretty on now. I've actually talked myself into it because realistically, Sweet ain't getting points this week. Even if he plays, he ain't getting me points. He's got the bye next week, so he doesn't play anyway. Then Gorn and Meek are in. By that time, I'm going to be wanting to get Jackson. I reckon I'm going to get Jackson. Like, it's just going to be one I force in. He's great cover over the buys, covers both Meek and Gorn. And, you know, from there, we can work out the rest of the team. So I'm thinking I'm stuck on Sweet going. You know, he's not on a bye, but he's also not scoring for me, so might as well get rid of him. But that only leaves me with 448k, which isn't enough to get the man I really want in Gryer Myers. Because I think that Myers is going to be like the guy that's like ranking, but probably a little bit worse off just because Geelong don't really play him here. So, like, if you look at Geelong's run, they got Richmond next at GMS. That just screams to me scoring potential for Grind, and that's why I want to get him now. We look at the rest of the games, you know, Geelong and Carlton aren't great. So if I don't get him this week, I would be waiting for him till after round 15. Because, you know, if he gets through these two, SEG actually might not be too bad for Myers because he is like a small forward, and as it's a smaller ground, it could give him a little bit more chance for the, you know, ball to be in his area. Carlton at the MCG, but then like they don't leave at all from Melbourne. And then they got like Essendon, which I think could be pretty good scoring. Hawthorn, Collingwood, Bulldogs, North. Like this is a pretty insanely good run for like forwards. I feel like, you know, all of these are pretty scoreable. I feel like the worst game he's got is this Fremantle game at Optus. And even then, if Fremantle are like not in the hunt, this could be like easily a pretty good game for him. So if we look at the games he's played, if we take out the, you know, the 60s, which, you know what, I don't think is fair because he did play St Kilda and Hawthorn, which are two of the games we're comparing to, so we can't really take him out. But even then, he's still averaging 90 with the 60s. If you take them out, he's like 100, which is really good. He only had a 71 this week, so it's probably what is the lowest score. But in the forward line, we really don't have much choice. And I feel like getting him against Richmond would probably be the time to maximize the points because you want to be maximizing it based off the fixture. Because, like, for example, everyone was getting merit because of the run he had coming in. And although it didn't pay off, you know, for me, am I wanting to get merit now that I've seen it not paid off? Like, you want to get those easy games and have merit through there and get those big scores because it de-risk the pick at that point. You got to look at the average of the player, but also the average of the player for the rest of the year because you're only getting the rest of the year. You're not getting what they already did. And that's a hard thing to look at. Like, for example, and this leads us to the second part of this trade, Tom Green. So if you take out the Tom Green 5 score, he is actually averaging like 113. So the 103 is a bit like unfair. But, you know, based on what we're seeing, he does look very tired. Now, after this, they get Hawthorn, but Port and Sydney aren't going to be easy games. Adelaide could be all right, although they've looked pretty good previously. Carlton, yes. I guess this like little run here isn't too bad, but, you know, we could maybe jump back on after his bye. There's nothing to say we couldn't. Right, and this would then open up the fact that I would be able to get Grind. And then for the other pick, we need to try and work out. Now, this is where it gets a little bit interesting because I could trade, I think I can make it work with like Closey. I could trade Closey and I could get Dawson now. And then I can get Butters. And this, although it feels backwards because obviously they've got buys coming up, Port have the easy buy. So that's not like the end of the world. And yeah, Port have the easy buy to get through next week. And then after that, Butters is really good cover, especially with Houston and Ryan. And we got Sarong. So that's like 4 players we're going to get really good coverage from. We're probably going to look for Jackson as well after his buy. And it's really like 3 trades straight away to like a premium. And we've still got like good money in Wilson and Darcy coming forward. Now, I could look at trading Darcy instead because of the break even. Dogs have Collingwood. So not the, he could do a ride against them. Who did Gold Coast have? Essendon. What do I feel like Closey's like against Essendon? That's probably not too bad, but as you can see, we get quite a good score. We get Dawson, who's going to be playing hopefully from here on. Now, this is also another thing I don't love is the risk you're taking with Dawson, because if he doesn't play next week, then we pretty much just traded in a 0. But you'd think he'd be playing, although he could lose his spot to McKercher. So the other thing I was kind of looking at doing instead is getting McKercher back up here. But I can't do this right now. All right, let's undo this again. Optimize to get players on field. All right, so let's try to do Darcy, Green, and Butters. Not Butters, sorry, and Sweet. Put you there. And then I think we can go Butters. Myers. And if this gets me Fraser, so this was the problem. I'm literally 1,900 off Fraser because I tried this trade. If this could work, I'd probably go it because one, I get a guy who's probably playing in a good position of like a back flank type thing. I also get rid of Sweet, who's not scoring, Green, who's not on this week, and Darcy, who's at the top of his money. But sadly, we're just missing out. So let's have a look at what's left. And there isn't much left. That's what I'll tell you. It is pretty like stale out there. So what do we got? So we got McMullen, who's also not playing. So it's like you're taking a gamble on these 2 players. I feel like they're really good for next week. So really, there's like no one else. You got Kasha Deer, but he keeps getting sub, which I don't love. Nate Caddy, who's only had 1 game. Steely Green, he keeps playing sub. I don't even know what Dewar is wrong with Dewar, but Collard would also be playing sub. So there's really nothing. If we go here, God, there's Ed Allen, which isn't great either. And then here, there's Charlie Dean, which is just, ugh. Like, we got no rookies. Like Ali Kalir is just out of the pocket here. And there's a few others as well. So I guess the only other choice we'd have is either A, going someone that isn't Butters, or B, going someone who's Myers. Now, if we go Butters, what's our forward line choices? I feel like I need to do a or update the power rankings a little bit because it has been a while. But what do we got for choices? So let's push Dacos down here. And then we could get like Clark, who isn't too bad. What's their run like? This feels like the only other player that can kind of so we got Melbourne. What are they ranked? Melbourne are ranked. Where's it say the defense? 12th. 12th versus defense. So that's actually not bad. So we could go Clark. God, Holmes is playing so well. If I just held him, I'd be in so much better position than I would have with. And he's got Richmond. God damn. Like, where did I drop him to? Like here? And it's just because Hewitt went like a few hundreds. Yeah, this is going to be like way better than what we got. Boak. So Boak is one of the guys who changed, got a DPP, but I don't really love him. If we look at his season stats, 90, 63, 86, 29, 84. This is not too bad. I mean, it's a lot of 90s, but this 29 is pretty bad. 133 versus North, 41k. If he was under 400, it would be a lot nicer. Carlton, GWS, Brisbane is not a great run through the buys, not going to lie. But then after that, it opens up. So he could maybe be someone we think of at round 15, depending on the form. I feel like it'd be good to wait another week on him, but I bet his break-evens, his break-evens nothing. So it's kind of like go now. Salem is really cheap. So why would Salem's role have changed? It's because Lever's out, right? This doesn't fill me with confidence. This does. But like he scored a 121 against St Kilda and everyone's scoring big against St Kilda. So it's like hard to go off that. They don't have Richmond again. They don't have St Kilda again. They've got North, but I don't love that. Blakey is not playing. Why has he got forwards here? Oh, because he got two positions open. All right. So Clark could work. It actually doesn't work because I don't actually get anything better. Like, I need to get more money. Clark's more expensive, so that doesn't work. Unless I was to go like instead of Butters, I go Clark and actually, let's do this. Clark. Because this opens up Fraser, right? That's not bad. 290k left. Livingston up here. What can we buy? What can we buy? So we've actually got a lot of options. So we got Harvey Harrison, not bad. I wouldn't pay for Riccardi or Gunston at this rate. Then we've got, let's get this money down. Man, Sanders would have been nice if he could have dropped a little bit more money. If he had another, like, if that wasn't an early injury, that would have been really nice. But there was a early injury, so he made good money. So we've got a world of more choices here. Not that I like many of them, but I'd probably just go Fraser, wouldn't you? Like, he's just the value pick, 111,000, and let's optimize this. So what do we at? We get up to 2051 round 12 projection, which isn't too bad. We get, how many on field? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Sorry, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So this would get us up to 19. And then let's look at how many premiums we need. So we get sorry, this is slow because we can't optimize it to make it work, but so we need 1 forward, 2 mids, pretty much. So we'd had 3 spots left with 12 trades, which doesn't feel too bad. Even though it's a bit correctional, there's one thing I will look at. We'll look at some kick-ins on Jordan Clark. And then maybe like there's probably I'll probably flip Meek at his buy. But like how much money do we really need? So we've still got money in Closey, McKercher, Wilson. So that's what 1.2 million. McCullough and Revel will hopefully keep making money in Fraser as well. Richards could be some late money. What do we need? We need 500 and probably 500k-ish for Jackson, which I don't love, but anyway. So he's like nearly he is one trade from here off of Wilson, which is good because he's coming down money here, isn't he? Like he had a bad game last week. How's his break even 75? It's because of that big game. It's because of that big game, and I don't love picking him next week. So maybe we're going to be foregoing Jackson. Sorry, the week after. I kind of wanted to lose some money. So anyway, Wilson's going to be like a fairly easy upgrade. Like it's just Closey down, Wilson up. And that's probably Butters, which can be done next week pretty easily. Although they're playing next week, so I might hold them. Actually, yeah, Butters isn't playing next week, so that's perfect. When do these guys have the bye? Closey has that bye, so that's good. Wilson has the late bye, so we're just going to get through 2 more with Wilson. But yeah, looking at forwards, right, because this is probably what's going to make or break this trade. I might only just use one trade because like it doesn't feel the greatest using 3 trades, but this does give me a lot more not flexibility, but it does strengthen the team a bit in the fact that we'll be covered by 19 this round, and then going forward, like round 13, we'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, hopefully 13, hopefully 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 probably. So that's not a problem. And then round 14 will even not be too bad because we'll be trading Closey out by then. And we'll trade. So we'll have 1, 2. How many we'll have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we'll have a full defense. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, hopefully 18. I think Rankin will be back by then. But even then, we might look at getting Jackson in round 14. Although we actually might get Butters because Butters might come here, which would give us 18. And then who would I look at training? Who's on a buy that round that could have money? Yes, Rogers could have money by then. Like if he gets 2 games now, though, his break even would be pretty high. No, it's 39, so that's actually not too bad, especially considering it has the 15 in it. So hopefully he doesn't get a sub match this week. We get another like 100k off him, or like even 80k off him. I'll just probably trade him, cash the money in, get Closey up to who I need, because we'll probably need that money, to be honest. We got 111 here. That would take that to 450, 200. If this gets to 250, that's 700. Yeah, it'd be very close. It'd be getting close because if Butters has like a bad game this week, he could go down. Um, but yeah, I mean, we could even like tap into Rich's money if we had to, but I wouldn't want to. Um, and yeah, that would get us Butters. And then we'd only have 2 trades left. So if I did 2 there, 10 trades, 2 upgrades would be pretty nice position to be in. We could actually even get Tom Green, actually, like really cheap, especially because like after this round he won't be playing anyway. Like he'll be cheap as chips. Because what's Green's break even? Yeah, the one round trade could be real with Green. Like it wouldn't take me much to pay to get him. I could probably just get him on Wilson alone. Doing that would bring us to 11 trades and what? 2 upgrades left. And that seems pretty like promising, to be honest. So maybe I'll do that next round. But yeah, really stuck on here. But let's sorry, that was like a lot of just ranting about my own team. But let's like look at the forwards because we're getting to this crunch time where we need to make decisions. So and I go through this every time, but like Jackson's obviously here. Now this average is inflated by those 2 big scores, which is great because that's what you want. But at the same time, he's now only really seeing full games with Darcy, but he's going to be good rock color. I definitely think Jackson, just based off that, I think he's fine for F6, get an F7 in, and should be fine. Waterman, as you can see, this is the lows of Waterman. They play a bad game. His average goes bad. His score is bad. And, West Coast could drop off come the end of the season. I expect to bounce back against St Kilda. Mackay, same type of thing. Key forwards, you want to play someone around. And then we get to Myers. It's already, the 8th pick. Honestly, I don't mind it considering how, like, short we are in the fort. In here. Like, the only other choices are, like, Moore, who's just not getting the mid-time, and I guess like I don't know, like Moore obviously had scored better last week, but I don't know. I just think that Myers is in a good team, and he's got a good run coming. That's like Powell and Fisher. Another one annoys me is like Powell. I don't know why he's suddenly being played in the midfield again, but yeah, kudos to you, Clarko, for changing his role for no reason and just delaying any sort of flow you can get in your midfield by putting Powell out. And then, I traded him out, but whatever. And then Fisher, only reason Fisher's scoring any good is because McKercher got injured. If McKercher wasn't injured, these 120s wouldn't be as good, I don't think. So, end of the day, I'm still thinking about bringing him in, but I just don't love him as a player. Shai Bolton's really cheap, so if you want to go there, that's also a decision, but like they've been really bad. Length is going to be up and down. Travis Boak's probably one you can think about just because of the buy cover, but still don't love it. I could see myself thinking about Baker if he can show he's getting it done in the forward line, because he is struggling a little bit. McRae, is he ever going to change? I don't know. Like keeping Sexton, people are looking at it as reality. The only problem I see is obviously if what Will Power coming back like wrecks him, which it could because Sexton had a lot of kickouts, and Power will take some of those. So that's probably a wait and see. But the good thing is you do have time to wait. So especially with the buys, you can just flip him at his buy. Like Fife's not an option. I guess Tex could be if he has a good run coming up. But then after that, like what are you picking? So you know what? I really don't mind just going Myers now and like everyone else can jump on him later. God, Kyle Lohman, my God, this guy. I literally said like he would be all right as well. Like when I did the rookie, if you haven't watched it, go watch that rookie spotlight. But for people who knew a bit about Kyle Lohman before this year as well, like he was a pretty big rookie consideration last year. He did his ankle and didn't really see any more game time for the rest of the year. But he was like really good in those games that he did play last year. And now, like looking at it, it seems like a real big one, and it's like a real big one we've missed because he's just Brisbane through this period. He's just had such a good run, scored so well, and like imagine having him as a rookie on field and getting a 128 and 104. Yeah, I know like the 53 is not great, the 46 wasn't great either, but like at that point you probably weren't playing him on field in like this run through here. You know, British Adelaide wasn't great, but like this run here has just like paid back for all of that, and he's made 300k. Like he's made more than Darcy, who we've all been really happy with. So, yeah, pretty unreal from Lohman and a big miss. Sometimes you got to zig when the rest of the comp zags. You know, pick the rookie that people don't pick, because picking guys like him, like 2.5% are on Lohman. So yeah, but like going from there, there's not many forwards left. I keep getting defenders. I don't know why, but I keep picking them. I think it's just because the midfield's like pretty raggedy. Like looking at this, you know, our forwards in the top averages. Sarong, Butters. Butters is the only one I'm really missing. I mean, Merritt, yeah. I didn't even know his score pumped to 119. He just seems to keep on having these bad starts. I guess I could see myself getting him after his bye because they have Gold Coast and Carlton now, so they could be like, they're probably 2 hard games, and after that it's probably all right, but this run doesn't seem that great. A lot of teams that are going to be good, especially like through this period here. I guess at the end it's kind of, but even Gold Coast, Sydney, Brisbane isn't great, so I don't know, probably can hold on him, but like look at this, like Lockie Neal's 7th. Flanders is a forward. Man, imagine if we didn't have Flanders. Rao's dropping off a little bit. I'm glad I'm going. I'm happy to go against Walsh every week, to be honest. Steele dropping off. You know, Took's up there. Dawson's starting to climb, which is great. But like Crouch, like if you got Crouch, you're really happy with his scoring, because man, he's just been like, maybe he hasn't made a heap of money, but this is the consistency of scores. Like you're taking 110 average every day of the week. I mean, Laird's pretty cheap. Could think about him. But yeah, like honestly, there's not much in the midfield, so you might as well just keep stacking defenders. Really weird year of like Supercoach where like you just don't have those real, and like Ridley's come back now and gone 162, so who knows what he's going to do. Yo looks pretty average, but like now we've got pretty much 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Like realistically, the top 8 of 9 players in the defense. And we had Holmes. If I kept Holmes and had traded Hewitt at the time, like we would have pretty much all the top defenders, which is pretty wild. Even McGrath, like I said, he might be all right, and he's actually doing quite well. Better than Blakey, which is surprising because I think Blakey's had some big weeks, and Newman. But Newman had still a good score, even with guys coming back. Hayden Young, Sicily could be one. He's pretty cheap at the moment. What's Hawthorn's run like? They've got a nice run. I don't mind this. So yeah, I mean the only problem with Sicily's is shoulder, obviously. Dale, who knows? Stewart's, yeah, I don't love the role. This 110's pretty deceiving because he took a lot of like late marks that really boosted his score. So this could be actually worse than what it looks like. I reckon he was on like 70 and he took 2 late marks that were just like straight down his throat that pushed him to 110. So, you know, that's not even really the biggest indicator of how he's going. And yeah, from there it's like really risky. So I'm pretty happy to bring in Clark, to be honest. So the last thing we'll just have a quick look. This has been a pretty rambly video, but you know, we're going through a little bit. All right, kick-ins. Let's see. Fremantle kick-ins. Are him and Ryan sharing it? No, Clark didn't even have that many kick-ins. That's wild. I like that. Like, if he's not having that many kick-ins and he's still scoring well, it does show a bit of room for him to grow. I mean, doing Supercoach doesn't do anything here, but anyway. Let's have a look at this. Man, it's just like all covered. I'm kind of pretty high on going Clark. Great buy. I don't mind this, to be honest. I think that because what we get is we get one player that's not on the bad buy. We weren't getting a score there anyway, so Myers we get, and then we can always jump back on Green next week because he's so cheap. So I'm thinking this is what we're going to do. And I think this is how we're going to line up. And I kind of like it because Buzz is always going to be there. He'll drop a stinger at some point. Hopefully he gets tagged this week. That could be good for us. Have we lost anyone that wasn't like Darcy's probably maxed out on money, to be honest. So that's not too bad. We get Fraser, which is good. Unless there's some like rookie that shows up, we'll do that. And what do we have this week? So let's have a look at then what we're thinking of captains. So mine's set currently off the optimization on VC Gorn, who is playing the same time as Ryan. So that's great. But if I were to, let's just make sure this is optimized. If I were to go what I was thinking, I would probably go. Who do we go? I would go. I don't mind a shot at Dawson into like anyone really. Gorn's not great. Into like Sarong. I don't mind that. I actually don't mind Bont either. I would honestly, Bont or Dacos is actually pretty good. As much as people say Bont isn't doing well, like his numbers speak for himself. Like if you look at midfielders, he's probably having a bad year and he's still in the top 5, and 2 of these aren't even positional. So he's actually top 3 midfielder. So you can complain about Bont all he's want, but he might be having a down year, but he's still averaging 119. So definitely take that. So yeah, maybe I'll VC like Bont as something different into Captain Sarong. Don't mind that. I actually don't mind Dawson as something different either, because like I think he could go really well against Hawthorn. Because he's got his kicking right at the moment, which is good. And yeah, I reckon that's probably the good one. So yeah, BC one of Bont, Dacos and Dawson, and then yeah, Captain Sarong probably against Melbourne, I would suggest is probably pretty safe. You could also look at Ryan if you wanted. That would be fine as well. Or even look at, I don't know about Gorn because he's going to be going up a double right combo. Maybe one of the Gold Coast boys against Essendon would be all right, even Merritt. But like it's a hard contested game, and Gold Coast love to take up the midfield points. So anyway, I think that's where we'll leave it for tonight. Hopefully you got a bit out of my thoughts. Hopefully you enjoyed the story at the start. A little bit of fun there. Anyway, if you did enjoy the video, give us a subscribe, that way you get notified when my videos do come out, and you get to hear some more stories about my life that are dreadful to hear on video. But anyway, this is what we're looking at lining up. The more I look at this, the more I'm kind of sold. I know I'm trading at green, but I kind of need to. I kind of need to make trading Sweet worth it, and I need to trade Sweet to get the players on the field. So I don't mind that. Getting rid of Darcy, it might be a little bit early, but he's kind of at the top of his cash anyway. We get Clark in, who's good. We're kind of getting a double upgrade really, because Clark is doing quite well. And we get Myers, which is going to be good enough for the forward line, I think. 71 isn't great, but we don't have much there, and I want to start getting rookies off the field in the forward line, and Myers seems to be the way to go. And he's got Richmond this week, so hopefully a big score. And yeah, anyway, we'll leave the video at that. And as I said, if you enjoyed it, give us a like, hit the subscribe button, and we'll see you in the next one. Cheers.